So it's great to have Judith here. Judith knows a lot about fast track technique, and we've known each other for quite some years. So we both are on the same page. And Judith wants to do a wounded child magical you game. So I've just explained to her how it works, but now we're going to go into the game and see what happens. And we're aiming this, Judith, as you know, a wounded child. Now, some people say inner child, but to me, what does it mean to you? But to me, there are many times in our lives when we are hurt big time. And so I don't think we have just one inner child. I think we have wounded parts of ourselves that are looking for healing. So I believe that we can have many wounded children, and
Mhm.
who are just waiting for us to pick them up and make them better. But we've discarded them over there. So we're going to play the game. And one of the reasons I've chosen Wounded Child is because it will give you and anybody that sees this video, it will show you the magnitude of what we hold on to from childhood, because this game was originally created for kids of 4 to 12, but kids of all ages are playing it now. But it's like if we can help kids in the early stages of their life understand themselves, understand their emotions, know they can make choices, know that they can deal with it in a way, then we're going to have um, more emotionally well balanced adults.
Yeah,
So it's to take you back into your childhood so you can see, and I know you already know this, but so you can see the weight of what you've been carrying, even though you've done a lot of this work. Okay?
yeah.
All right. So just think about your wounded child, or that part of you that you think is still wounded. Um, can you recall that? Can you recall a situation that still bothers you?
Um, there's a couple that come forward to me. The first one is that, and I've done a lot of releasing around this, or at least realizing it, but we'll see what's there, is that I was born the fourth daughter,
You were what, sorry?
and the fourth daughter.
Yeah.
And there was a boy child that my mother miscarried before I was born. And so I've done some healing work to release the energy of that part of it. But one thing that has come to me is that uh, I feel like I was a great disappointment to my parents, that they were very much wanting a boy child. And so the moment of my birth, and it was at the time when you didn't know the gender of the child before it was born. So you'd have to wait until the moment of birth. And that I feel there was extreme disappointment in both of my parents when I emerged as another girl. So that seems to have lingered. That
Well,
seems to
it
have
would, wouldn't
lingered.
it? The memories don't get much younger than that, and I
No,
also have had that story as well, so I can totally um,
you can you
resonate
can
with
relate to that. Yes, it's it's a very deep one, and it showed up is that, I always wanted to make my parents proud of me. It showed up in terms of not really liking my female body. So it showed up. There's a feedback loop happening. Okay. That yeah, just being that disappointment and wanting my parents to be proud of me and to accept me as I am, but I feel like, that was kind of in a way almost impossible. And yeah, and then my own self-image.
All right, okay. So it all comes from that one thing, doesn't it? And I think, we don't go back and just do this once because it's manifests. It kind of like it's like a cancer, isn't it? It goes into all areas of
Yeah.
our bodies. So let me ask you, um, and we will play this game as if you are that younger you. So if that was a game, Judith, what would you call it? And it's most likely not to be an optimistic name. What would you call it?
Um, acceptance.
Okay, so acceptance is what you want, but I think the name of the game is more like disappointment. That's,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I was kind of on the positive side of the game rather than
yeah,
that side.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess,
So
yeah,
would disappointment be a good title?
yeah. There's another voice coming in on this. Do you hear it?
I can, and I can only think it must be a microphone.
There's definitely someone talking.
Oh, well, hopefully they'll go. So there's not anybody asking to come in here. So
No,
anyway,
I,
you don't have any other devices open.
yeah. And if I just close my computer,
Right.
that coming from that.
All right. Okie dokie. So what I've done is I've named your game Disappointment. Often
Yes.
you put an age there, but since you were, you weren't born yet, or you were just born, so there's no age to put there. So if you were with me, I would pass that to you, and you'd accept that, and that's the first step into your journey. All right.
Right.
And I know you'll be able to start feeling it already. Okay, so this is a daft question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you believe in magic?
Or you.
All right. So what we got magical you, and this character has no color, no gender, and he's on every card. So when you connect with magical you go on the journey with him, as him, or for him. But this is the magical you. So what magic would you like to bring in today?
Hmm. I'm thinking forgiveness.
Well, yeah, it's forgiveness, but as absolutely. But you mentioned acceptance, so acceptance would be a magic, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be. Yep. Yes.
So let's call it that.
Okay.
Acceptance, the magic of acceptance, because that's a whacking great big one, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
so this card is available to you at any time you want to bring it in, and I might make the suggestion from time to time. Okay. So I'm going to show you, the cards are color coded, and we've got red, yellow, green and blue. So the red ones are all about emotions. So I'm going to show them to you one by one. And don't bother about the word. You'll read the word, but you look at the pictures and tell me which of these pictures are you connected to your story of disappointment. Just say yes
Hmm.
or no.
Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. Sorry, did you hear me? I said no.
Oh, you said no. Sorry, I didn't get that. It must have been a blip. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, brilliant. So that's quite a few cards, considering you've done a lot of work around it that you can still relate to. So now I'm going to show you the yellow cards, and this is about where did it happen. So where did it happen? Who was involved? What was going on? So just look at these cards one by one, and just tell me which of these might seem relevant, and if because it's an unusual situation that you weren't really born yet. If you want to make another card, we can do that. We've got another blank one here.
Okay. No. No. Yes. No. No. Yes.
Okay, great. So this is your game, and that's quite a colourful one. All right.
Yes.
So I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions, and as you can gather, every time I ask a question, it's just bringing you closer. The external picture is matching your internal picture, and so each time I ask a question, it's taking you closer into it, or it's expanding it, getting it ready to be released.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, mm, so tell me on this card, which one is you?
The middle one.
Yeah, okay. And who's this?
My dad.
And this one?
My mom.
And this one?
That would be my younger sister.
All right, okay. So your brother's not there.
No.
And this one, when you look at this one, now the word says scared, but that feeling, is that feeling inside you or is it outside you? Whatever that picture is.
I feel it's inside.
Right. And this one, which one is you? Or are you on this card?
I'm kind of both.
So you're this one and you're here.
Myself, I felt left out. I felt, like I didn't fit.
Right.
It,
So we'll call
it was
this didn't fit.
very internal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't
It,
fit.
it kind of led to, I really wasn't sure who I was, and I did feel out of place.
All right. So there you go.
Yeah.
So we've got that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the others, I can see how they all fit together here. Um, but now having described, woken up that's remaining connected to this story of disappointment, where are you feeling that in your body, Judith? And it might be more than one place.
Definitely in my heart.
And what does that feel like?
Sadness. Yeah. Um, it took me many, many years of my life to realize this story. that I had been carrying around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it, it came to me in bits and pieces. And it really started waking up with my dad's admission that he was disappointed that I was a girl. When he said it, it didn't hurt because I knew it was truth. I knew he was absolutely speaking the truth. But it did jolt me into, acknowledging that situation. Um, I think that this comes in that, I went through so many years of my life dragging this around with me.
Right. So that sadness in your heart, on the scale of 0 to 10, 0 is nothing, 10's a lot. How much can you feel?
About a 6.
6.
Yeah.
And anywhere else in your body?
In my jaw,
Yeah. And what does that feel like?
clenching,
Clenching.
clenching. Yeah.
Okay. 0 to 10.
Stronger, probably be about 7 or 8.
Okay. And anywhere else in your body?
No, that's it. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So now here's the $50 million question. What do you want to do with this stuff in your heart and in your jaw? Do you want to keep it or do you want to let it go?
I let it go. Yeah.
Good answer. All right. So if you could send it somewhere, where would you send it?
I'm tempted. Well, I would say I'd give it back to because it was their responsibility.
Okay.
I feel like I took on some of their responsibility.
Okay. So you would give them this back as their responsibility. And
Yes.
here's the question for you. And when they got it back, what would that mean? Would that mean that it's totally left you? Does that mean it would get handled in a different way? What we want to do is to make sure that it's not coming back.
Yeah. Is that it would leave me. Yeah.
And
Yes.
you wouldn't be open to
Ultimately,
receiving it, would you?
no. I mean, ultimately, I would like them to take the responsibility, but not let that be heavy for them. Just to acknowledge that, I've carried the responsibility of their disappointment for a very long time.
Right.
It's to relieve myself of that responsibility so that I can truly acknowledge that disappointment and let it go. Yeah. But I don't want them to feel beat up about it
Right.
either.
Right. It's not like, here, take this back, suffer. All right, okie
Exactly.
dokie. Well, we're just going to do that right now, Miss
Oh,
Judith.
nice.
So, what I have here are two very special magic stones.
Lovely.
One of them just happens to be extremely good at working with wounded child situations. Which one do you think it is?
The shiny blue one.
Right, okie dokie. All right, so I want you to imagine that you've got the shiny blue one. You use your fingers, and we're going to release the vibrations of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold up just a couple of cards to remind you.
Okay.
All right.
I have my own shiny blue crystal here.
Oh, fab, fab. All right. Now I'm going to use your words the best that I
Yeah.
can If I get them a bit wrong, then just correct me. Okie dokie. All right. I'm Judith. Can you
I
repeat that,
am,
please?
I
And,
am Judith,
and I'm going back throughout the whole of my life
and I'm going back through the whole of my life.
to,
Oh, I feel a constriction in my chest already. Whew.
to every time
Every
that disappointment happened,
I missed something there.
to every time
Every time
where disappointment happened,
where disappointment happened,
I didn't fit in,
I didn't fit in.
going back to my birth,
Going back to my birth,
back into the womb,
back into the womb,
where I knew I wasn't what they wanted.
where I knew I was what they didn't want.
I'm going to get all of the disappointment,
I'm going to get all the disappointment,
be angry,
be angry,
scared,
scared,
all that lonely,
all that lonely,
and the sad.
and the sad,
And I'm going to send it back to my parents
and I'm going to send it back to my parents
as their responsibility,
as their responsibility,
with love and consciousness,
with love and consciousness,
so I can let this go.
so I can let this go.
I do this for me,
I do this for me,
and I do this for them
and I do this for them
now.
now.
Do you want to add anything, Judith?
I
You're
feel
getting
like that in the statement of forgiveness, that I
right.
forgive myself and I forgive them, forgive my parents.
There's another part of the game where we'll bring that in, but good you know it's occurred to you, and that's lovely.
Yeah,
So let's
yeah.
check in and see what happens. So what we do now, we check with the numbers. You said you felt in your heart sadness, and it was a 6. What does it feel like now?
Definitely less. I immediately felt a constriction around my chest,
Mm.
as it was getting ready to leave. And I'm definitely feeling lighter, lightness, and ease of that. It feels like it's like a 1 or 2, maybe a little bit more.
Okay, like we'll put it down as a 2. And then your jaw, that was a bit higher. That was like a clenching, and it was a 7 or 8.
Physical response was not quite as strong as my heart. Very, about 5. Yeah.
Well done, you. Okie dokie. So it looks like you've sent some of it back to your parents as their responsibility, and there's still some waiting to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the cards that you chose, and just tell me, do you feel you need to keep that, or do you feel it's kind of done? Yeah.
That's done. That one is done. No, I still feel there's some anger. There's still some of that. That one is gone.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
How do you feel about this card?
I feel your sense of belonging.
Sense of belonging. So
Um,
this is changed.
yeah.
All right. So I'm
Yeah.
just we'll put that over there, and I'll do something else with that in a minute. Okie dokie. All right. So what we've got is we've got didn't fit, and we've got angry. Um, do you want to send this back to your parents? Do you want to send these back to your parents?
No.
No. What do you want to do with these?
I want to release them from myself. Yeah.
So how about we transmute them into light or do something
Yes. Yeah.
magic?
That
So shall we bring
sounds.
in the magic?
Yes. Let's bring in
All
the
right,
magic.
cool. All right. So, and I'm
Yeah.
going to add this disappointment here. So I'll say what I think you're saying, but you correct me, okay? I'm Judith,
I'm Judith,
and I'm going back throughout the whole of my life
and I'm going back through the whole of my life.
to
This
every, sorry,
this incarnation.
right, and any other incarnations.
Any other incarnation, yes, it's true. They have shown up there too.
To all events and situations
To all events and situations
around disappointed,
around disappointed,
disappointment,
disappointment,
and didn't fit.
and didn't fit.
I'm going to release the anger.
I'm releasing the anger.
I'm transmuting it into light
Transmuting it into light
with the magic of acceptance.
with the magic of acceptance.
And everything else I need now.
And everything else I need now.
It happened.
It happened.
It's over.
It's over.
I accept myself now.
I accept myself now.
Do you want to add anything,
I
Judith?
fully accept all the disappointments in myself that I have realized.
Oh, I can feel this shifting.
I fully accept the energy of disappointment that has permeated this life. It comes from this moment of birth. And I fully acknowledge and release this from my life, my body, my mind now. It is safe, right, and good to release the story of disappointment and to be in full acceptance. Wow. Wow. That last bit definitely came to me, a couple of images of where I have disappointed myself, and different situations where I've disappointed. And I saw the connection between that and this vibration of disappointment that, yeah, that began there. The thread of it showed up many times.
Exactly. Isn't that powerful?
It is very powerful, like that, it's like watching, you know, lights on a runway, starting to show up. Yeah, it's I had not realized how they were all connected. Yeah, yes.
All right, so here we go.
That's the magic right there, is the connectivity.
And if you watch this again, you'll be able to see your face. You can watch the transformation come in. It's like, whoa.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you can see it. Anyway, so let's continue playing the game. So now
yes.
check again with those numbers. Um, in your heart, it was a 6, it dropped to a 2. What does it feel like now?
It feels released.
So
It
a
does.
0? Are we saying
Yeah,
0?
yeah,
Okay,
the zero.
not bad. And then the clenching, that went from a 7 to a 5. What does that feel like now?
It's definitely gone down. My sense is that it's going to release in increments,
Right.
not release at all right now.
So I'm
Um,
getting a 2. So, and we've not
yeah,
finished playing the game. So I'm just going to put that 2 down. And of course, it
yes.
will do what it will do, but it's just a good number. And you
Yeah.
can imagine if a child's playing this game, they've done all this by themselves, and it's like, yeah, right, I'm doing this, and they're choosing what to do with it. They're going through the visualization of it. So you can imagine how amazing it is for a child. So let me just show you these cards and just tell me, do you need to keep this one?
No,
Gone.
there- there's still a little bit of that. Yeah. The disappointment. It's been a very deep pattern of mine. Um, so again, it's like, it's maybe a bit of a, it's going to be a bit of a process.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the memories will come up, which will indicate that they're being released.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so now, and that's brilliant. So what we've got the proof that your body's changed. You've felt things, you've seen things. So now I'm going to take you to the green cards, and we're talking about you now. Okay, going back to being a little girl more. What did you need? What did you need when you were a little girl, or what do you still need to let that remaining whatever it is just pass through?
To see me for who I am.
Okay, so just choose the cards, all right? There's a set of
Oh,
cards
supported.
here. Yeah,
Um, yes, supported. Yeah, I do need that. My own space. I have that. Rarely. I have my own space. I have I have many hugs. Yeah. A friend. Um,
yeah. Now I'm going to suggest that one of these is you, and one of you is that baby you. That
yeah,
part that you've maybe not been able to embrace.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
That part of the process. Yeah.
right. Okie dokie. So
The
which one is you and which one is the baby you?
well, the happy face one is me. Um, let me see. No, the gray one is me.
This is you?
Gray one- Yes, that's the real me.
All
He
right,
wants to,
okay, okay.
that wants to
All
come in. Yes.
right. Okay, okay. We can do magic here.
Yeah. No, don't need that one.
And this is
Fam-
what I was going to say, is you said you felt a change. So we're going to go from family one and we're going to bring in family two, put that
okay.
over, and then we're going to hold the magic.
Yeah.
And you're going to hold that. Imagine that you're holding that. We're going to bring
Mm-hmm.
in the any
Anger.
remaining anger, any disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to bring in all the support that
Yeah.
you need right now, going back throughout the whole of your life,
Yeah.
so you can absolutely heal your wounded
Yeah.
child and she can heal you.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
They can come together and merge.
Right.
Yes.
So I want you to imagine that you're holding this on your heart as I am. And let's just do this together.
Okay.
I'm Judith,
I'm Judith.
and I'm going back throughout the whole of my life
And I'm going back through the whole of my life
to any parts
to any parts
that are fragmented,
that are fragmented,
kept separate,
kept separate,
or don't match.
or didn't match.
This is where we do the forgiveness. I forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
I allow myself to be forgiven.
I allow myself to be forgiven.
I forgive my parents.
I forgive my parents
And anyone else I might have blamed
and anyone else I might have blamed
for disappointment.
for disappointment.
I choose
I choose
to heal my wounded child,
to heal my wounded child,
to be healed by my wounded child.
to be healed by my wounded child,
And anything else
and anything else
that isn't me,
that isn't me,
isn't mine,
isn't mine,
or no longer has value,
or no longer has value,
is dissolving
is dissolving
into the light,
into the light,
coming back as magic,
coming back as magic,
acceptance,
acceptance,
and anything else I'm ready to receive.
and anything else I'm ready to receive. That I may reach my fullest, most authentic being and my full potential now. That was that was amazing, Jazz. That was amazing. Yes.
This is
The
what
forgiveness, when you said I forgive myself, allowing myself, that weight that was around here just lifted off. Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah. So it's like I was waiting to allow myself to be forgiven. This is so incredibly timely. I'm so blessed that it's just the two of us showed up tonight. I feel, I feel that that was the magic.
And you know, I'd just gone out to empty the washing machine. I'm like, oh, nobody's coming, so I'll just go and sort the washing out. Here we are doing magic. All right,
I'm
okay,
glad I.
okay. We're not finished yet. There's more to come. Stop rushing
Oh,
me. All
oh my
right.
goodness.
Are we happy with this? Is that this one? Are we good with this one now?
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't need that one. Bye bye.
Yeah. The anger is gone. Yeah. Supported. I will look for evidence of being supported. Yes. Yeah.
And it's about a completion or a, what do we call it? A merging of the two selves. You know, the healing coming between
Yes.
the
Yeah.
two of
Yeah.
you. You'll know what to look for. Okay.
Yes. And,
So what I'm going to suggest is that um, we're going to we're going to keep these. So now you've released everything that was in the way, and you're ready to receive what it is that you want. But we're going to keep these, and we're going to bring these in as what you want as well. So these are the blue cards. So um, what would you like to fill up that space with now?
um, I do feel definitely feel,
So you don't need
so
that
I
one.
don't feel I need that.
Mm.
No.
Nope.
Oh, I don't think so. No. Um, yes, strength. Yes. Uh, no. Yes.
All right. So, and we're going to bring in the magic of acceptance. So I'm going to make a lovely fan for you here.
Mhm.
So this is the story that we're going to put back in. All right. So we've got acceptance of the healing of the friend, the merging of the two, the strength that will come from the wholeness of that,
Yeah.
and all the safe and support that that younger you needs from the older you that survived it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to hold. So when we do this, if you're in the room, is you will hold the cards up like this, far away, so the energy can transmit. Okay.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
I'm going to do it to you like this. So I just
Mhm.
want you to look at the acceptance, the magic of acceptance.
Yeah. And my dear
Healing.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just breathe that in and tell me when it's done.
It's done.
And now I want you to breathe in the strong of being complete, more complete and whole, having dispatched your responsibilities, and let me know when it's done.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And finally, just breathing in all the safe, the supported, in everything else that you need or is needed.
I'm safe to be my authentic true self and others in my success over time and time. Lovely, lovely. Yes.
So take a deep breath and know that you've got that now inside of you. And what I will do is I will send you a souvenir photograph of your reprogramming so you can
Yes.
remind yourself of the miracle of today.
Yes. This was a miracle today. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. It just shows how, one aspect of ourselves, we are guided to acknowledge it from many different perspectives.
Yes.
And, this is a part of me that I have explored before. My realization of it has grown. But then, tonight, um, the magic has been for me is take that wounded child and make that part of me. Yes. To accept that and to acknowledge it and to forgive and just fully embrace that child, that she took on this lesson for a purpose.
Mm.
Yes.
If
And
I
that
can
purpose
just
is no longer needed. And now is the perfect time for this.
right, let me just show you one thing.
Yeah.
So these cards, of course, are very versatile. But one of the things that we often do is we can take a toy or a cushion, and
Mhm.
this can be your wounded child, right?
Yes.
All right. And what you can do is you can have a conversation with the older you and the younger you and talk to her
Right.
as,
Yes.
like, I couldn't be there for you then, blah, 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 all of that stuff. And this can be one of the most heart opening. Um,
Mm.
it gives you that distance and it's still you. And it's a conversation that you wanted way back then.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's a conversation you can still do. Um,
Yeah.
and so that was a great, as you can see, it's the cards that do the work. I asked very simple questions. I know you, so I brought in some of my own stuff because I knew you wouldn't mind. Um,
No.
but of course, it's absolutely an amazing journey to be able to take yourself on one of these
Mhm.
journeys. Um, for any of the, let's say, the traumas or the dramas that are still resonating, still banging away, looking for attention. They're all wounded child. Uh,
Sure.
so it's a very, very profound experience you can have. I did one for myself the other day, and it was that part of Jazz that hated herself. I couldn't believe it. She hated
Mm.
herself, she hated God, and she hated the world. And it's a very
Mm.
similar story to yours, of not being wanted for being a girl and stuff. And
Yes.
the effect was just so profound. The
Mhm.
pictures just unlock something.
Yes. Well, it's the attention and the acknowledgement, and the willingness to go into the wound
Yes.
and to let it come out because we've been holding it in for so long.
Yes.
So the magic for me is the cards guide us, are very strong guide, um, for us to continually to step us into the willingness, because I've often said it's very challenging to hold one's own hand in the fire.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, you get what I'm saying. And with this process, which I've often found with the fast track also, is it's it's neutral, but it guides us into aspects of ourselves that we maybe don't want to see, but we just keep on with the process, and there it is. Yeah. I mean, you know this very, very well. So I'm very happy to have re-engaged with you and with Fast Track. And this first experience with the Magic View has been amazing. Yes. So I'm very grateful again, you know, for the guidance that you've received to develop these magnificent tools. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So I will stop the recording in just half a
Okay.
second.
Yeah.
I'd like you to look for the evidence, over the next few days, and just let me know um,
Yeah.
what's showing up for you, what feels different. And thank
Yeah.
you so much for being a willing victim and for making nobody else show up.
I wanted it all for me.
Well, you're a very powerful manifester.
Is evidence of that. Yes.
Thanks,
Thank
Judith. Don't, I'm just going to stop the recording.
you.